when you guys, as far as, and let's just do this. Let's start from a much broader view. When you're looking for a business, restaurant, housing, I know they're very different fish, but do you find yourself going to their social media platforms often before?
No.
I think it depends on the business, because if it's a restaurant and yeah, they're posting like different pictures of food, you can tell that it was served in the actual restaurant and not styled to make it look like the food is better. But for apartment complexes, I don't usually, because it always seems like it's like they took the pictures right after the apartment was built and like not actual.
So you don't trust what they would put on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Does everyone else kind of feel the same way on that?
I think social media is only really good for like getting news out there to people, not for reviews, because it's controlled by the company. So
right, and I'm not necessarily talking review based, but just like an Instagram for instance. If you're just like trying to think of a good idea or good something, but just like if there's a lot of good promotion going on the Instagram, do you think that would drive you towards?
Oh, yeah, for sure. If they have cool events and they post about it and I know about it.
So events would be a big thing for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You two are about to fight here. I'm scared.
My thing is, if I'm looking for something new, I'm not already gonna have it on social media.
I'm sorry, what was, sorry?
If I'm looking for something new, I'm not already gonna have it on social media.
Okay.
So to me, I'm not gonna go looking for something that I don't have.
You're not gonna try to search for it. If it's given to you, you'll look at it, but.
It's kind of different because, well, Instagram's really creepy with the way they do like the ads. And you should like click on it and automatically go to your website. I think it's a little bit different because ordering a $40 pair of shoes is different than like a year contract.
Exactly.
The amount of times I've like bought stuff in the moment for Instagram ads is crazy. But I think something with, and maybe I'm just an architecture nerd, but maybe like for me, anything bigger than that, I'd rather go in and see it for myself.
But do you think that seeing that would, in your mind, kind of get you thinking like, oh, maybe I should go over to Millennium or something like that, or maybe I should go to the cottages?
Yeah.
Do you think that it would drive that? I know you said it's kind of weird, like, oh, here's a year-long contract, but do you think that would, like, in the back of your mind, feel like, maybe I do want to do that?
I'm thinking about it in the terms of emails because I cannot stand all the apartment emails we get for a year.
Okay.
So to me, if it's in my inbox and it's like apartments, it's an automatic delete. I don't even open the email.
Interesting. Okay, and that's because of the frequency.
Yeah.
Just that you get it. Okay, so you don't even look at it. It's just you see apartment and that. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. But those, like, that being said, like, I ignore them. But when I was looking at apartments, like, those names I did remember, honestly.
You remember them?
Because, like, I was Googling names and apartments in Norman's because I didn't know all the local complexes. But, like, the ones that were on social media, even though I was ignoring it, like, every time, because, like, I'm on Instagram, I'm not worried about leases right now, you know? And, like, I'm like, but, like, those are the names I did remember and looked up when I was looking at leases. That's what I looked up.
What about YouTube videos? I know I've seen, I think State runs one that I see all the time. Have you guys not seen those?
No.
No, you have seen it? What do you think about that?
I barely remember it, but from what I remember, it's like really corny and like, I laughed at it.
So maybe the advantage to these Instagram things that we're talking about is you don't have the ability to play the corny music and have like the employees posing and stuff like that. It's short and sweet and it gets the name out there. Okay. Interesting.
So what we should do, they should make TikToks is what I
Get on cringe compilations for advertising. That's funny. Okay, so then let's kind of go into, Joseph, what you said about events. If you, now I know not all of you are living in a big complex like this. How many of you are living in just like a house like you were talking about? Okay, and then the others, are you guys complex style apartments? Okay, how frequently do you guys go to events?
If there's free food, every time.
So free food is a driving factor,
Yeah.
as we found out here.
Oftentimes I'll just leave right after, but I will show up.
Okay. Do you think that those free food events are, do you think that they're putting a positive outcome or a positive view of the property in your head, or is it just kind of like, hey, they're giving away free food, blah blah blah, you know what I mean?
It depends on the event. Like if it's actually good, then it's only a plus.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's only free food, then it's just neutral.
So then if, let's just take State for one and then Millennium for another. If you're living at State and your friend is living at Millennium and he's like, listen, they have got the coolest events all the time. Do you think that that would sway you to live somewhere else? Would that sway your housing need?
Me personally, no.
No.
Where I live is just where I want to go.
Okay. So you know, they're serving prime rib every night over at Millennium, you know.
I think,
And of course that's an extreme case, but I know it's kind of a weird question, but it's just kind of like, what I'm trying to dig at is like, you know, how important really are events for you guys?
I don't know, I think for me it depends, because if you have, like you're living there and you have issues with the apartment already, then you're like, is my money going towards all these events and not like,
Okay.
are they using money that could go towards like maintenance or whatever is needed to be fixed?
So your outlook on it really does have an opinion on the events themselves. So like if you're doing great, everything is fixed for you in a timely manner, and you go to
that's
the events and you're just popping streamers, it's great. But it could have a negative effect because it's like, what is this money really going to?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I see, you know, my apartment complex, it's just where I'm living. If there's cool events, great, but if there's no events, I'm not gonna be like upset at that. First and foremost, I just am trying to live somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to live somewhere that has all these cool events. So those are only a plus, and I don't really think that, you know, bad events or no events is gonna, you know, come across as a bad complex or whatever in my eyes.
Okay.
it's definitely not a driving factor.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest driving factor would be the price point. I know around the summertime and like around February, like around like the next semester when it starts, people are already thinking about like, I have to move out of this apartment and go to a new place, or what I'm gonna do for the summer, or like summer living. So around that time, a lot of other complexes already start offering competitive price points.
Okay.
And if you're talking about Callaway directly, their price points don't sway.
Mm-hmm.
So they have no competition. They already are at a higher price point, and they're not offering any like students any like, you know, like incentive to come to that location.
Okay.
I would
Who-
be.
sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna ask, who would agree with him that like price is #1 driving factor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that plays a big part, but
The location is pretty cool too.
location, I mean, there's different justifications. I mean, if I'm gonna be paying $600 a month instead of $500 a month, there should be a reason, but I'm not opposed to paying more money for a better service.
And you, to be fair, you were kind of going into that. I wasn't trying to call you out for just wanting the cheapest price or something like that. So, when we're talking about price and like what comes with it and stuff, what are those things that you're taking into consideration? I know we touched on parking. Parking sometimes can be, sorry. Parking can sometimes be separate.
It's so long.
Oh, man. I
Anybody?
feel sorry for her.
Anybody?
I think we're supposed to be like, are you here first?
So, parking can sometimes be separate. What do you guys think would be fair for parking as far as I guess that's not really a fair question. Let's bring it back. Let's go back to what we were talking about driving forces for the price of an apartment. What are you kind of looking for? I know that's a crazy question to ask because there's so many things that subconsciously go into it. But just off the top of the dome, what if you see one apartment complex is like outrageously more expensive than another? What are the things that you're looking for in there about that?
The rooms, that was the most important thing whenever I was picking my apartment complex was the rooms are nice, I mean, the rest of the complex can be however nice or however not nice. I'm gonna be living in my room, not, you know, the lobby, so I want my room to be nice.
Okay, so start at the room. Would you guys agree with that?
Mine's actually more of like a safety thing, especially
Okay.
with what he was talking about location, because there is some complexes that although they're cheaper prices, it's in a part of town that doesn't, like not even a part of town, that complex doesn't have the best reputation with like
Okay.
street lighting or like there's been muggings at that apartment complex, and that definitely has turned me away from complexes before.
Okay.
It's even with the cheaper prices, which is like mine for one thing.
Okay, so safety can definitely be part of one thing, and then also rooms. What are you looking for, Joe Paul, and I'll ask some other people, but as far as rooms go, what is kind of like your ideal setup in that aspect?
It was more comparative than anything else. I mean, I just, you know, look at this room, is this room nice? Like, it's just kind of really personal preference. Just, do you like how, like, room layout was big. Is it gonna be a comfortable place to live? Am I gonna enjoy living there? So, I mean, that was pretty much.
Yeah, so
it's
so
kind of
not really pinpoint like,
Yeah,
I like a room to be 13 by 14, but you know, just something, just comparing.
I think
Okay.
about like windows, showers, closets.
Storage space.
Personal bathroom is really big for me.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, yeah, the personal bathroom.
I hate sharing bathrooms.
Okay, interesting. So what, I guess we'll kind of go a little bit, well, no, I'll ask this one. So, I know we're kind of bouncing around here, but I want to bring it back for a little bit about what, we talked about communication. You know, that's a big thing that you guys expect from, especially in a housing complex. What are some attributes for when you walk up to the front desk? What do you expect? What are just some things off the top of your mind that you expect from someone who's going to be up at that front desk?
I expect them to know what they're talking about.
Knowledgeable and speedy, or like
Yeah.
efficient,
Mhm.
at least.
At least give the impression that they care about what you're going to say. Like, they don't have to actually care, but like, while I'm talking to you,
Smile.
And not necessarily having to be able to fix whatever, but be able to get, like, help us understand what we need to do to fix a problem. That if it's not
Okay.
under their control, that they point us in the direction we need to go.
Okay. So if you were upset about something, do you think you would rather talk to someone who, you know, comes down to your level and is like, hey dude, I'm really sorry about this, blah, 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 or would you rather have someone who tried to defend the complex itself, if that makes sense? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, would you rather have someone who's like, oh man, I'm so sorry about that, blah, 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 or more like, okay, well, you know, let's be honest here, this is what happened here, blah, 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 and all that.
yeah, I prefer someone like, they have to reveal a little bit of the behind the scenes BS that goes on, like what we usually don't hear about. I would rather be like, yo, blank happened, this is what's going on, like, it sucks, but like, that's how.
Yeah, I want somebody to like come down to my level.
Yeah, my job, that's what I do to people, like something that like only you could understand if you just tell them exactly what happened.
Mhm.
That's the easiest way to do it. Just talk to people like they're people, not like, it doesn't always have to be a customer-employee relationship.
Yeah, and I think especially with like you were saying, you're like, this is a year-long lease that I'm signing, it's a big commitment out of your life. So would you guys say that it's a lot more comforting whenever someone is just totally transparent with you, no smoke and mirrors about that? I that's an obvious question, but I think, okay.
I don't like being lied to.
Yeah. So then, those of you who live at the complex, do you all have like, who's at the front desk? Or would you say in your guys's?
It's like usually students who
Yeah.
are like student jobs.
Do you guys like that? Is that something that makes you guys comfortable?
Usually they're like, they know what we're talking about because they live in the complexes too, so it's like they understand more where we're coming from, which I think is really nice, even though they don't have much of the power to do anything about most of the stuff. We come to them as like their managers and everything is that, but like they're doing their best and they can help us.
Do you think that makes you more comfortable that these people up here are students, or?
I mean, it's like not. It's like yeah, comfort, like, but it's a catch-22 sometimes because I also would want to talk to someone who can do something about what I'm coming to them about.
See, at mine, there's always one person that's like a management person. and
Okay, so
then
you are in direct contact with management.
Yeah, so it's like you can talk to the student, they understand it's relevant to them, but they also, you can talk to someone who can get things done quickly and they have more authority than the student.
So then, have any of you guys, I know we kind of talked about leaving a bad review for somewhere, but if you don't mind, and you can skip if you want to, but can we kind of go around the room and talk about something that has just been, that you've been upset about, from, let's start at the, living aspect of like an apartment complex or where you're living, but I know a lot of you guys live in a house, something like that, maybe it can be a landlord thing. If not, just some business in general. So we started with you last time, let's start with you this time.
Could you repeat that question?
Yes. So, can you share with me, it doesn't have to be housing related. I'd like for it to be housing related.
Yes.
So let's start there, about something that happened to you that upset you, to a point where like now if someone comes up to you and is like, oh, what do you not like about living here? You would tell them that.
See, that's funny because it's about maintenance.
Okay, all right.
It's like, we had a dishwasher where, so this is when I used to live at an apartment, and the dishwasher broke, and like, it didn't break, but like apparently like there was a leak inside of it, and it built up water, and it would just like grow mold, and they didn't fix it in 3 months or 2 months, and the fact that it took so long bothered me.
Did you ever get any sort of follow-up about that? Or
Yeah,
was it just like,
I mean,
dishwasher's here, goodbye?
They were like, oh, we'll contact our maintenance guy. He said he'll be there in 2 weeks. It took him like 4 weeks to get there to take a look at it. He's like, we're gonna replace the pipe. It'll take another month.
Did that communication about like, I know the length of time was frustrating, but do you think that them saying, oh, this is what's happening, we're gonna replace this pipe, do you think that helped a little bit?
Oh yeah, no, it's knowing what the issue was and what caused it, it definitely helps, but it being a health hazard is a bigger problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just speed of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more like, it was a serious issue and I know it was, and I know it needed to be directly handled. Like I know repair can take time, but like knowing that there's a bigger factor behind it, that's a bigger issue. Like if it was like, oh, the light bulb went out, like that's fine. It wouldn't bother me. Like how long it would take.
But you're looking at like, I say compassion, but like someone else being able to put themselves in your shoes. Like, hey, I'm a student. I've got mold growing in my dishwasher.
Yeah.
My dishes are dirtier when I put them in there.
Yeah.
That you're looking for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
When I moved into my apartment, my mailbox was broken. And
What do you mean?
like, so we had